Revolution is the 12th studio album by the Christian rock giant Skillet. Now, I am a big Skillet fan. I just got into them last year, and I was fortunate to see them live earlier this year. However, despite being a big fan of them, I can admit that their albums can be hit or miss. Their first 4 albums are okay, but I barely go back and listen to them. However, they had a fantastic run all the way from Collide to Unleashed. I enjoyed all those albums, and I've re-listened to all of them quite often. But I wasn't really a fan of Victorious or Dominion. I thought they were pretty forgettable and generic. So I didn't have many high hopes for Revolution, especially given the singles that they released for this album. I was not a fan of Unpopular. I thought it was a really weird choice for a first single, and it's basically just the whole band thinking they know how the internet works, and it just came off as really cringy to me. I thought All That Matters was better, but still not great. But I really did like Ash in the Wind. I thought that was a great single. So from Revolution, I was kind of expecting it to be around the lines of Victorious and Minion, where there were some good songs, but most of it was just forgettable. However, I'm happy to report that Revolution was better than I was expecting, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Skillet albums. Revolution is much more consistent than Victorious and Dominion. I wouldn't say there's an outright bad song on this album, and there are some really great ones on here too. Showtime, Ash in the Wind, and Fire Inside of Me are some of Skillet's best songs in a long time. Not Afraid is also great, and surprisingly, Unpopular and All That Matters fit really well into this album. They flowed much better on the full album than they did as singles, and I can see the songs growing on me over time. Another big positive of Revolution is its style. I think the album's style is great. Where I felt Victorious and Dominion leaned too heavily into the pop rock version of Skillet, this feels like a mashup of all their different sounds. I got a lot of vibes similar to Comatose and Rise in quite a few of these songs. It also highlights a different style for Skillet, with songs like All That Matters and the title track. I thought it was all really well done, and it keeps the album fresh. The album as a whole has a more gritty sound, similar to something like Collide or Comatose, which, as big fans of those albums, I really enjoyed that. Revolution is also very re-listenable, a lot more so than Victorious and Dominion. I haven't went back and listened to Victorious and Dominion since I first listened to them, but I've already listened to Revolution in its entirety twice, and I've listened to multiple songs off of it. However, despite there not being an outright bad track on this album, there are a few mediocre ones. I wasn't a huge fan of the last 3 songs on this album. They weren't terrible, but they were pretty lackluster considering the energy the first 7 tracks of this album had. And the title track as well is also kind of forgettable, which is kind of disappointing because Skillet has a lot of great title tracks. My other issue with the album is that it feels too short. There's only 10 songs on this album, and it only runs for around 35 minutes. It feels like it ends too soon, and as a result, it doesn't leave as big of an impact on me as something like Comatose or Awake did. Those albums weren't much longer, but they left much more of an impact on me. I also can't help but feel like Revolution was rushed out to make a quick profit. Now, I'm new to the Skillet fandom, so this could just be the normal release schedule for all their albums, but I remember announcing that they were going into the studio around July and then dropping the first single like not even 2 months later. I just couldn't help but feel like this album felt a little rushed, and if they had taken a little more time to perfect it and everything, I think they could have improved a lot. Overall, Revolution is a solid album with a lot of great songs and some of their best in years. However, like I said, it didn't leave a huge impression on me, and I definitely think that there's some room to improve. I'm going to give Revolution a B-. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have another video up tomorrow talking about my 5 favorite Skillet albums, so if that interests you, make sure to stay tuned for that. With that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.